Hello and welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on November 10th, 2024. Um, as we get closer and closer to Christmas and the holiday, a lot of people have gifts on their mind, whether receiving gift, buying gift, or finding the right gift for that special someone. So I hope that this episode is going to be helpful for some of you because today we are going to talk about the art of gifting. More specifically, we're going to talk about the art of gifting for that special someone. But there should be some good stuff in here that can be useful for most people. Yes, you heard me right. There is an art to gifting, and it's a lot more complicated than one may think. However, um, I will preface this by saying that not everybody is really that uptight about gifts they receive. So some people they are gracious enough to like whatever you give them, or they'll a lot of people are diplomatic enough to pretend to like whatever you give them. So even if you don't follow any of these rules, you might be okay. And some people are very hard to gift things to. And even if you follow all these rules, you may still come across as doing it wrong. So there is not written in stone, but what I'm going to tell you today should give you a good guideline to follow, especially when choosing gifts for that special someone that you may be in a relationship with. Because depending on the stage of the relationship you're in, the gift should be very drastically different. But before we get into the relationship, here's a couple of little rules that tested and true rules that almost never go wrong, and it's always good to keep in mind. Number one is when you are giving someone a gift, it should be about what they may like rather than what you like. Okay, that seems obvious, right? Like you're giving me a gift, it should be something that you think I would like, rather than something you think that because you like it, so I should like it. Okay? Because that usually comes across as laziness, right? Some people say, well, whoa, hold on a second. Like, if I like something and I think that uh, I really like this, so I want to give it to you, isn't this a good thing? No, because then you're imposing your like and dislike onto me. And as the receiver of the gift, I have the obligation to, number one, do something with the gift. Number two, express to you that I love the gift, uh, unless I want to be rude and tell you, oh, I don't like that. Um, so you are placing a certain amount of pressure on the person receiving the gift. And if you go by what you like, then you might be forcing something onto that person that they either can't use, won't use, don't want to use, or just plain don't like, period. As opposed to that, if you actually take the time and figure out what the person might like, yeah, sometimes it's very difficult. We don't always have time. We don't always know a person well enough to know what they like or don't like. But it really doesn't take that much, right? A lot of time. This is why I personally am really good at gifting. A lot of times, what I do is I pay attention in conversation with friends. If I talk to friends and someone just happened to mention I really like that brand of wine, immediately that's filed away in my memory. That I if I don't think I can remember that, I'm going to write it down. If someone says, "Oh, I really wish I have that uh, shirt, or I really like that brand of perfume, I will file that away. And if someone say, I hate it when people give me this, I'm definitely going to pay attention to that. Right? I pay attention to what my friends, my family, my loved ones say when, with regarding to gifting. And these are all stored away for information because I know I'll need them later. So, for example, me being an action figure collector, right? I am much more likely to be touched and to appreciate your gift. If you give me a $5 action figure, it can be a stupid action figure. It can be a figure that I already have. It can be uh, something that I don't even collect. But it's an action figure. If you give me an action figure, I know at least you were thinking of me. I know at least you were paying attention to what I collect. And if you happen to give me an action figure that I been wanting or I didn't have, then that gift suddenly get elevated to a totally different level. For example, with this one time when a good friend of mine gave me the action figure of Doctor Doom, and out of curiosity, I asked him. I said, "How? Like, why did you pick Doctor Doom? Like, how did you know that I don't have Doctor Doom in my collection? And how did you know that I've been wanting the Doctor Doom in my collection?" And my friend actually said, "Well, because when I was looking for gifts for you, I went back and paid attention to all your Toy Thursday videos, and I figured out that you don't have a Doctor Doom. And you mentioned in one video that you wouldn't mind having him." Wow. I mean, it's a $20 action figure, $26 action figure. Nothing special about it. But that touched my heart like no one else's business. Like at that moment I felt so special that someone actually went to the trouble of watching that many of my Toy Thursday video to figure out what to give me. Okay? Giving me a $20, $26 action figure would mean a lot more to me than if you, let's say, if you are a hockey player, you love hockey, you love everything about hockey, and so you decide to buy me a ticket, a $900 ticket to go watch the game. Okay? On the surface, everyone is going to say, "What? You think that $20 action figure is not as good as a $900 hockey game ticket? You're crazy." And yes, and if you look at the value, yeah, a hockey ticket is much better. But for me, that doesn't mean anything. I don't like hockey. I wouldn't even watch it if you pay me $900. So if you were to give me a $900 hockey ticket, I that put it and put me in a very awkward position. I don't want to go, but because you bought it, I kind of have to go. So I'm going to go there and have a miserable time and pretend that I enjoy the gift. So in this case, you got the gift for me because you like hockey and you feel that it would be special to give me a hockey ticket, but you were not thinking about me. You were thinking about yourself. In this case, this gift is not going to go down very well. In any time in the future, I think about this gift. I'm not going to think of it with fondness. I'm not going to be very appreciative about it. I mean, when I think of this gift, I'm going to, oh my God, I hope he doesn't give me anything in the future. Not another hockey ticket. I don't want to. So that is what I'm talking about. When you give someone a gift, give them something that they might like. Pay attention to their conversation. Pay attention to what they have, what they wear. Uh, that little bit of attention, paying attention to the person, will warm their heart a lot more than you just say, "Oh well, I love boxing, and I'm going to buy them a ticket to go watch boxing." No, it does. It's not going to come across very well that way. The second little tidbit I'm going to give you guys before we get into the meat of this episode uh, is that when you're giving someone a gift, it's not about how much effort you put into it. It's more about how they have to enjoy it. Okay? What I mean by that is a lot of time people get it confused. Oh, I spent a week making this. You should be appreciative. Yeah, but it looked like crap. Oh, I was up at 7 in the morning. I've been baking this all day long. Yeah, but it tastes awful. Okay? So when you put in a lot of effort, honestly, unless it's something you're really good at, unless it's something that you know it's going to be really good, don't bother. Just go and buy something, right? Because when you put in a lot of effort and time, you automatically feel that you're entitled to gratitude. The person should appreciate it. The person should love it because of all the time you put in. And yes, the person may feel that way too. But if what the result is, if the end result is not that good, then again, you put the person in that very awkward situation. God, I really hate this, but I don't want to tell him because it's going to hurt his feeling because he put in so much time doing it. So if you really want to make something for somebody, if you have the confidence and the time and the drive, make sure it's something that you know for sure that it's really good. You make sure that it's something you're really good at. Otherwise, you might as well save yourself the time and just go buy them something because uh, it's not about the amount of effort you put in. The gift is about how that person is going to perceive it, how they have to live with it. Okay, if you spend a month or 2 months knitting me a sweater, you're going to be very disappointed because I'm not going to wear it. I hate sweaters. I never wear sweaters in my whole life. So if you go and spend 2 months knitting me a sweater, that put both of us in a bad situation. Right? You put in the time. I have to be appreciative. I may have to force myself to wear that sweater when you are around, and then I'm going to be very uncomfortable. Again, it's just bad feeling all around. So, uh, it's when people say homemade gifts are the best, be careful with that because a lot of time homemade gift will miss the mark altogether and not have the intended result that you think it's going to have. Incidentally, to avoid a lot of bad feeling and lies and deceits and stuff like that and embarrassment, it is generally a really good practice to not ask about the gift you give someone. Yeah, I know sometimes the mystery is killing you, the curiosity is killing you. You want to know. I spent 2 months making that sweater. How does the person like it? You want to know, but honestly, when you give someone something, if they really like it, if they really use it, you will know. You will notice it. They'll talk about it. They'll write poetry about it. They'll sing about it. They'll post on Facebook about it. They will wear it a lot of the time. You'll see it. Okay, you'll hear about it. If you don't hear about it, don't ask about it because most likely it missed the mark. Most likely it uh, either sitting in the closet somewhere, wadded up in the corner, or it's found its way to the local pawn shop. Okay, when I give people gift, I very rarely ask or inquire about the gift. I will just give you a gift and I'll try to forget about it because this will be less embarrassing for everybody involved. Uh, if you ask me about, hey, did you like, did you use what I gave you yet? I'm like, uh, um, yeah, a couple of times. It was good. Thank you. I mean, how fake is that? That's like, it's like totally fake. You know it. I know it. And now you just make everyone uncomfortable, right? Uh, so I have like personal experience with this one. I have a friend, right? I have a friend. I'm not going to give her name, but I gave her a book because I uh, was listening to her conversation, and she said she really wanted to read this book. So me, being the good friend I was, and her birthday was coming up, I immediately went on Amazon, spent like a tons of money. Well, okay, it wasn't a ton of money, but it was like $50. That's kind of a lot of money for a book. Spent $50, get her the book, and gave it to her. And then I never heard her mention that again. So a few months later, I was like, "Hey, how was the book?" And she's like, "What book?" Um, the book I gave you, a book that you said you really wanted. And she's like, "Oh, I don't have time to read. When would I have time to read a stupid book?" And I'm like, "Okay, ouch. At least they're honest." And then, a few months later, Christmas came around, and I thought this person could use a nice electric hand warmer because they are getting up there in age, and I thought, got them a hand warmer because I really liked it, and Kitten really liked it. So I thought this person would really enjoy it. Again, months went by, and this person complaining about being cold, and I was like, oh yeah, well, uh, have you tried the hand warmer? Have you tried it? Like if you're cold, have you tried the hand warmer? And the person went, I don't use electronic crap like that. How do I know it's not going to explode and set my house on fire? I don't use things like that. And that's when I realized I made the fundamental error of asking and inquiring about the gift I was giving her. Like, I should have just left it alone rather than asking about it. Because in the end, you know what? I was offended. I was angry. I was like, okay, well, why should I give you anything? Like, when every time I give you something, you either don't read it, don't use it, and you know. Uh, but that's why. That's why. No. That's why. When you give someone something, let it go. You've given it away. Don't ask about it. Okay? Sometimes you're really curious. You really want to know, but believe me, it's really best if you don't, because again, let me say this: if they really like it, if they use it, you will hear about it, you will see it, you will know it. Okay? If they don't, if you've never seen it, if it's totally quiet, then best to just don't worry about it. Now, that's a pretty long preamble. Now let's get into the four stage of relationship and how to tailor your gift to have the best effect in a romantic relationship. Stage one, the introductory. When you think you like this person, when you think this person like you, you haven't cemented your relationship. You haven't even really confirmed you're in a relationship. You're in that courtship time. The trick here is to remember stage number one, okay, the courtship period, to go small and don't go big. A lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people rush into it and end up scaring the potential mate away, right? Because, like I mentioned already, when you give someone a gift, you are placing a certain amount of pressure on that person, how they need to react, what they need to do with it, and so on and so on. So when you are in the initial stage, it's best to go small. Okay, it's more affordable for you, and it's easier for them to process, and they don't feel like they have, oh wow, he gave me a $2,000 watch, I should say yes and be his girlfriend. The person feel like they're being a whore, right? Okay, so in that initial stage, when you're trying to feel each other out and figure out where you stand, start small. Okay, something simple, a box of chocolate here. Maybe figure out what they do if they go to the gym a lot. Well, get them some towels. Get them some uh, uh, hand weights or something like that. So something that's not going to break the bank, and something that if they do reject you, if they say no to you, you're not going to get your feeling hurt too badly. At least you're not out $2,000. Right? A lot of people, when they rush into courtship, they start trying to go big. They're trying to show up with a extravagant gift, and the result can be very catastrophic. My younger brother, when he was like 15 years old, decided that this new girlfriend that he's courting, he's going to save up money and order her 900 roses. So on Valentine's Day, like 900 roses get dumped in front of the principal's office, and the principal was so mad, and the principal got on the speaker and announced this girl by name, Winnie Wong. I think that was her name, Winnie Wong. Come to the office and pick up your stupid flowers. That's basically that's what the principal said. And it embarrassed this girl so much that she ditched my brother on the spot. Right? Too big, too fast, too soon. Right? Like my brother was thinking about being romantic and showing off how romantic and how much money he could spend. He wasn't thinking like, how is this girl going to get those flowers home? Like it's not going to fit in her, like she didn't even drive. She's going to get her mom to come pick up her flowers. Where is she going to put 900 roses at home? Like, and not to mention the embarrassment she had to suffer in front of everybody in school. Like, it was just too extravagant and not well thought out. And rather than pleasing her, it drove her away because it's just too much. Okay, so in this initial stage, in the courtship stage, start small, start gentle. Okay, and you'll find that things work a lot better this way. Stage two, the honeymoon stage. Now that you cemented your relationship and you are madly in love with each other, you can't get enough of each other. This time you want to reverse the gifting method. Now it's a time to go big and don't go small. This is when memory is made. This is when 20 years, 30 years down the road, you're going to think back in the beginning of your relationship how great it was. You're going to think back on this time with fondness, and you need things that have that impact. This is when you break the bank. This is when you sell the piano. This is when you sell your action figure collection. I did that before. Don't laugh. I actually did that before, not for a girl, but I have heard of people sell their action figure collection at this stage of their relationship. Right? This is the time to impress. This is the time when you spread those peacock feathers to really woo and wow your partner. And this is when you pull out all the stop and go big, right? In this honeymoon stage. And a little trick I'm going to remind everybody, when you are in the honeymoon stage, don't get anything that is perishable or can be used up. Okay, you want to get things that will still be there 20 years from now. You want to get things that will hold memory. Okay, buying a $1,000 dinner is going to be bullshit because a week later, she won't even remember what it tastes like. Right? Buying someone a expensive bottle of wine, it's going to be pointless because 2 years from now he won't remember what it tastes like. Okay? At this point, you want things that is solid. You want things that is long lasting. This is when you get the expensive electronic, the expensive phone, uh, things preferably that have a long lifespan. Hint, hint, Cutco knife is really good. They have a forever warranty. Uh, anyway, I'm not selling for Cutco. I just want to throw that in because that was part of my anniversary gift. Um, so at the honeymoon stage, go big. This is when you really uh, throw throw your weight around and try to impress and build that memory. Okay, taking them on trips might be okay if you plan on taking a lot of photos and videos, but otherwise, again, might not be the best thing at this stage because uh, you take someone to Paris, uh, and you know, 10 years later, unless you have photos and videos, they probably won't remember everything about it. So you need to get things that can hold memory, can be there 20, 30 years from now. That's the trick at the second stage, the honeymoon stage. Stage number three, the cooling down stage. Now that you got it out of your system, you decided that okay, we are going to be here for the rest of our life together. You live together, whether you're married or you're in long-term relationship. Real life kicks in. You're no longer in that honeymoon stage. Uh, you have to think about paying the rent and paying the bills, stuff like that. The trick to give gift in the cooling down stage is go simple, don't go complicated. Go simple, don't go complicated. And what I mean by that is this is no longer the time to suddenly do something really crazy like getting 900 roses, right? Because if I if I suddenly come home with 900 roses, kitten is probably going to have two reactions. One, wow, wow, that's great. And then two, what are you crazy? Where are we going to put them? Well, you just spent that much money that could be going to what our dinner, that could go into our food. And what are we going to do with 900 roses? By next week, they'll all be dead. Okay? Now we have to find enough vase to put them in. And what if I don't even like flowers? What? Like this stage is not a time to do big gestures. You want to do a lot of little simple gifts. Consistency is the key when you're in this cooling down stage because when you bring home a box of chocolate, when you download a new movie for her, or when you get him a nice steak dinner, those are the little lubricant that will keep your relationship running smoothly. There's a little surprises, little uh, enjoyment. But if you try to go complicated, if you try to go big and complicated, you will end up complicating each other's life to the point where this gift end up being more like a curse. Okay. Um, so, for example, if I come home and kitten say, hey, I was at the store and I thought I picked you up a bag of croissants. Oh, that's going to make me so appreciative. I'm like that's going to be make me so happy. This just made my day. I had a hard day and I come home and oh, just croissants, right? Simple, not complicated. If I come home and kitten say, quickly get dressed. We are going to go out for dinner and then we are going to go dancing and I decided to get us a hockey ticket to go watch hockey. I am probably going to go, oh, why? I had a hard day. I don't want to go out for dinner. I don't want to get dressed. I don't want to go dancing. I definitely don't want to go watch hockey. So in this case, a big complicated plan, it's just going to make me feel not very happy in this case. So when you're in a cooling down stage in your long-term relationship, remember, go simple, don't get complicated. Fourth and last, and this one is more relevant to people who want to get married, at the proposal stage. At the proposal stage, where you want the person to marry you, keep in mind the trick is be conventional, don't be creative. Look, marriage is a very conventional thing. A lot of people, that if they are into marriage, they are dreaming of the conventional wedding, the conventional proposal. Right? They want the getting down on one knee and present with a ring, and then the wedding and the honeymoon. They want that. They don't want you to be creative. This is not the time to be creative. Some people say, well, yeah, but look at all the weddings we see on TV, all the superstars, how they do like jumping from the helicopter and then propose when they're flying down with parachute, or they go diving and then they propose while they're diving. That's show business. That those things you see on TV, those things you hear about on the internet, these are publicity stunts. In reality, and you can check out the research, you can look for research. People who get creative about proposal, people who get creative about weddings, usually fail. The other person usually is going to say no, okay, because it's too much. It's not what they're looking for, right? If you want to get married, if you want the person to marry you, if the person is the type to want to marry you, they want that traditional, formal proposal. They want that boring, old-fashioned wedding. Okay, so don't try to be too creative. Otherwise, you may end up hearing no from the other side. Okay, think of it this way: when I spend $100 to go to a steakhouse for prime rib, I am not looking for creative. I want that prime rib that I always know and love from that steakhouse. If I spend $100 and the chef, for some reason, suddenly decided, oh, I'm going to get creative, and rather than cooking the prime rib the normal way, I'm going to soak it in plum juice and then cook it. Uh, that may not have the effect that the chef was looking for. Because me spending $100 coming to your steakhouse, I am looking for the food that I know for years that I love. Okay, so same thing with proposal. When you propose to someone, uh, when you come to marriage, most people want that traditional marriage. Most people want that traditional proposal. They don't want creativity in this case. So to recap, in the initial stage of courtship, go small, don't go big. When you finally get to the honeymoon stage, you're madly in love with each other, then this is the time to go big, don't go small. When everything is settled down, you got it out of your system, now you're living together, you're in the cooling down stage, go simple, don't go complicated. And last but not least, when you're ready to propose and get married, go conventional. Don't get creative. Thank you for checking out today's episode. I'll be back again tomorrow for some Music Monday.